What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. This is the Memphis League Cup round number 2. On the left, we have Jose, and on the right, we have Chris. I have no idea what decks they are playing, but hopefully it'll be an interesting match. I did look ahead, and it said it was like a 27 minute match, so at least we have something good happening here today. And look at that beautiful Nationals play, man. That is so beautiful. Shout out to Nationals, where you're able to do the prize wall, get some stuff off the prize wall. We were able to get this Nationals playmat, so it's very nice to see it in action today. Look at there. Too bad we don't have the side cams like they did at the at Nationals, but still very nice and cool to see that on the stream today. But yeah, we're gonna see another good match here, hopefully. I do see a rare candy in Jose's hand, so he's playing some kind of evolution deck. See the Metagross, a Gardevoir, maybe some Galio, but there's the handshake. Here we go, guys, on a game number 2. We see Jose start with that Eevee, and we see Chris starting with Drampa, Tapu Koko, and a Trubbish. So it looks like we have a Drampa Garb versus a Sylveon Gardevoir deck, and I'm not sure what's happening. Okay, so Chris is drawing his card. I guess he forgot he was going first or something. I'm not 100% sure what, I don't know what happened there, but we'll start the party. So Chris, I imagine he's playing like Potown in this deck. Potown does let him give that Berserk attack off with that with that Drampa. It's got that Righteous Edge. It does 30 and discard your special energy off your opponent's active. Might not be that relevant in this matchup. I highly doubt. I mean, it might become somewhat relevant, but I imagine Jose's really not going to drop his DCs until he really needs to take a knockout here. Now, this matchup is going to be a little bit interesting because, you know, Jose's got that, I imagine he's playing Gardevoir, which means he's got that Twilight GX attack, if I remember correctly. That's what it's called. You put 10 cards in your discard pile to your deck, or from your discard pile in your deck, which means you can get all your item cards out of there, make Chris's, like, Trash Lynch Garbodor pretty much useless. So that'd be one interesting thing to see how it works out. But we do see a Tapu Lele. Gonna grab an in. I imagine all Chris really wants to find here is an energy attachment for his turn. Maybe a Potown. Potown doesn't really become that useful in the early game. It's better on late game when your opponent's like evolving their routes into Gardevoirs and stuff like that. But we do see a Psychic Energy going to the active Drampa. And we're going to see it in here most likely. Going to shuffle both players. Oh, he does have that Potown. Looks like he's going to put that Potown down. And I wonder if Jose's playing anything to really get rid of that Potown. He's probably playing Field Blower, but you want to save those definitely for tools on Garbodor. If Chris gets that Toxin Garbodor, he really needs to discard that. And yeah, the thing with Potown and with Eevee, when you evolve Eevee through Energy Evolution, like you attach a Psychic Energy to Eevee to find the Sylveon, it would actually not take the 3 damage counters from it because it's not out of your hand. But we're going to see it in here. Both players are going to get 6 new cards, and I wonder what Chris is looking here. Maybe another Trubbish to put down. He wants multiple Trubbish. He actually only has 2 more spots for his Trubbishes since he does have a Tapu Koko on the field. And we see Jose, he does have some fairy Pokemon in his deck, but what he really wants is that turn 1 Bridget to find multiple routes and maybe an Octillery or a Remoraid or something like that. We see Chris does have a tool card in hand. He's just going to pass right now, which is fine. So, you know, Jose's got that Sylveon in his hand, but he does have a Fairy Energy, and unless he have his other Sylveon prize. Most of these lists play a 2/2 Sylveon. And, okay, he does not have a price. So with that Sylveon, he'll be able to use that Magic Ribbon, get 3 cards out of his deck if he wants to. He's got that Plead GX attack as well, if he wants to put, like, Pokemon on his disc and on his bench to his hand. It's really not that good. He definitely wants to use that Twilight GX attack. And Jose's hand's really not that good. He has a Sycamore, but it has a Guardy, Sylveon, Curlia, and a Enhanced Hammer. What he could just use is just Magic Ribbon. There's no way this Drampa's going to take a knockout this turn. It does not take 3 damage counters because of Potown. I think I kind of just want to see maybe just a Magic Ribbon to find like a Bridget maybe. He could just Sycamore. It's not a bad play either. The one thing you're losing, I don't know if it's a Rare Cane or a Enhanced Hammer. It is a Enhanced Hammer. I think I'm fine with just Sycamore in here and just trying to find some stuff, but it looks like he's going to go for Magic Ribbon instead. Either way, this Sylveon cannot be knocked out unless Chris does play Kukui. Like if Chris has Kukui, what is it? If he has Kukui, Choice Band, Garbodor and a DC. He could win right now. But we see Chris grabbing a Routes, a Bridget, and a Glade. Okay. I guess he wants to use... I definitely agree with the Bridget. You definitely want to grab the Bridget for next turn. Maybe grab an Energy to attach to one of your Routes if you don't have an Energy in your hand, which I do not think he does. We're going to see a Routes, a Bridget, and a Glade going into his hand. So on to Chris turn, I'm going to draw a card, and let's see what Chris decides to do here. Does he have the Garbodor? And when he evolves into Garbodor, that Potown will activate and give 3 damage to that Garbodor, which means that Chris's Berserk now activates, because the only way Berserk really does its high amount of damage is by having your bench Pokemon have damage. So that's a really good thing in this Drampa Garbodor deck it has now. He does have a DC in his hand, okay. Man, I really hope he has like the Choice Band Kukui Garbodor play. It'd be amazing to see. He does have the Choice Band. Alright, but right now Berserk's only do 110. He's got that Fluster on a Trubbish. He's got an Ultra Ball, discarding a Psychic and a Drampa. And I imagine we are going to see a Garbatox and Garbodor coming online. And when this happens, Chris will be able to do 180 damage with that Drampa. But does... Oh, nope. Never mind. Garbatox Lele for an in. No, it's not a Kukui. Oh, no. Alright, so in. Both players will shuffle up and get 6 new cards. Now, Chris is disrupting Jose just a little bit, saying, hey, I know you grabbed 3 cards. One of them has to be Pokemon. One of them has to be a Bridget. There's no way you didn't Magic Ribbon grabbing a Bridget. It's definitely the best card to grab is that Bridget. Just to search your deck for 3 Pokemon, put it down, and get this Sylveon Gardevoir deck start setting up. So yeah, we're going to see both players shuffle 6 new cards in the deck. What Chris really needs to find is a Trubbish and a Garbodor. He really needs to save this last spot for another Trubbish. Maybe not so much for the Trash Ledge, more just for another Garbatox since we have 2 of them if needed. And we see Jose does have a Tapu Lele. If Chris can get a Garbatox and Garbodor, he can actually be in a fantastic spot. But does he have the Garbatox and Garbodor? I see a Stretcher in hand. I don't know. If you think if he had a Garbatox and Garbodor, he would just slam it down, be good to go. But right now, it looks like we're just going to see a Berserk for 110 damage. Unfortunately, yeah. So we're going to see 110 damage come down. Chris misses that, the good old Garbatox and Garbodor, no Ultra Ball. And now what Jose can do is use that Bridget, or use that Lily for Bridget, search out for 3 Pokemon. But this Sylveon is going to go down. It has 110 HP. Sylveon only has 200 HP. So it is going to get knocked out going into the next turn. So we'll see. Let's see what Jose decides to do here. We are going to see the Tapu Lele. Okay. And I imagine Tapu Lele is going to see Bridget. Going to grab 3 Pokemon. And let's see what 3 Pokemon he grabs. Probably 2 Curlia. Maybe a Remoraid. Maybe 2 Routes, and then maybe a Remoraid to get the Octillery out. Maybe another. Okay, no, it looks like he's just going to go for 3. I actually don't see a Remoraid in his deck at all. I don't see any water Pokemon, so it looks like it's just going to be 3 Routes, which is not bad either. And he's got like triple rare candy in hand, so what Jose can do next turn is like triple rare candy Gardevoir with 3 magical ribbons. Looks like he's going to grab an Eevee and 2 Routes. I guess what he wants to do here is say, hey, I know you're not going to have a Sylveon this turn, but I want to get another one out by attaching energy to it, get another Sylveon out, and get set up that way. Just have 2 Sylveons ready to go. So we'll see those 3 guys coming down. We'll see attachment to the Eevee, most likely, getting another Sylveon out in play. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to see here. Probably a fair energy attachment to the Eevee, getting ready for that. He can actually just putting on a bench Routes. And Magic Ribbon for 2 Gardevoirs, which is not a bad idea at all. Yeah, I mean, either way, this Magic Ribbon is going to get 2 Gardevoirs. I think that's 100% the correct play. And then he has double rare candy, maybe trying to find a DCE and take a knockout next turn of this Drampa. With these 3 energies on this Drampa, he's already doing base 90 damage. And all he needs to do is 90 more. So with a DCE, you only need a Fair Energy. So I think definitely you Magic Ribbon for 2 Gardevoirs and a DCE, and you kind of just get ready to knock out this Drampa GX the following turn. But let's see what Jose decides to get. Let's see if he can grab a Field Blower. I guess he really does not want to take damage from this Potown, but this Sylveon will go down this turn. It's 100% going to get knocked out by this Berserk attack. So let's see what else does Chris have in his hand. He's got another Lele. I did not think you want to put down this Lele. If you put down this Lele, oh my goodness, see another Lele coming down, which means Chris's only attacker is going to be this Drampa. We see that Chris is going to grab another in here. You know, I guess you are inning Jose out of these, you know, out of all these Gardevoirs. But now he's got his bench full. He has 3 Tapu Leles, a Trubbish, and a Koko. And if he wants to go the correct way, he has to get out the Garbodor and Garbodor, which means that the Drampa is his only attacker that's going to be out this whole game. Oh man, I mean, he does have Lele. He can like put a DC on it and like an Energy Drive, but still, it's just not going to be enough. I think Chris has committed too many Leles on the field. I understand he does want to disrupt Chris, or disrupt Jose, but Chris needs more attackers, which is going to be, I think it's going to end up biting Chris. Chris is going to take 2 prize cards, but it's going to slowly start biting him back. We see Jose finding a Curlia. He has an Enhanced Hammer. We see a DC going down to the top of Coco. Now, this will only be really good if Chris plays an Espeon EX, and if he does, what he could do is after the Po-Town damage, he could Flying Flip twice, and then maybe de-evolve all these Pokemon and win that way. But we do see the Sylveon coming up. We do see a Curlia in Jose's hand. We see Enhanced Hammer going to discard the DC. Actually going to discard the DC off the bench. Okay. We see a Sylveon going to the bench routes. I would think you want to discard the DC off the active, make it where your opponent can't berserk you anymore. We see a Curlia come down, going to take 30 damage from that Po-Town. And now that de-evolution is really going to come into play. We see a Sycamore going to discard his hand, drawing 7 new cards. Alright. And let's see, does he find Rare Candy? Gardevoir, he has a DC, he has a Fade Energy, he's got a Rare Candy, but no Gardevoir. He does have a Rescue Stretcher, but I do not think there is a Gardevoir in his discard pile. We see another Enhanced Hammer, so, you know what, might as well discard both the DCs off the field and leave Chris with 1 energy card. Alright, so, we're probably going to see, we're 100% going to see another Magic Ribbon. Oh, we might see attachment for the turn. We haven't seen that yet. Maybe attaching a Fairy Energy to the bench. Curlia, it's not a bad idea at all. Yeah, he hasn't attached yet, so you definitely want to attach that Fairy Energy. Okay, nope, never mind. Just, I guess we're not attaching. But we are going to see 2 Gardevoirs, and I definitely think you want to grab an Acerola or a Flowstone. Some way to get to Sylveon to the active spot. You want to grab like 2 Gardevoirs and a Flowstone, retreat to Sylveon, and take a knockout on this Drampa. Which is very easily done with his hand. He has a DC, Fairy Energy, and a Silver Wrangle, or Choice Bands, sorry, not Silver Wrangles, Choice Bands. He grabbed 3 cards, but I could not see what they were. I'm hoping it's 2 Gardevoirs, and it doesn't really matter what the 3rd card is. As long as it's 2 Gardevoirs, that's all that really matters. So, the big question again, does Chris have another in? He's already committed ability ends already. He's already played like 2 or 3. So, you got to think he's almost out of ends, right? So Chris, he's going to draw a card. He really needs to find a DC to go for that Berserk attack. If he doesn't, he might go for that Big Will GX. And there we see the Garbodor and Garbodor coming on the line, which means that, you know, Jose can't even take a knockout next turn. Even if Chris finds a DCE, there's literally no way Jose could take a knockout next turn. Alright. But let's see what Chris decides to do here. So now that Garbodor and Garbodor is online, makes where no abilities can be used, but we really haven't seen abilities being used except for Chris's side of the field with those Tapu Leles. And we're going to see a Wonder Energy be attached to the Tapu Koko, actually. So that Tapu Koko will take 10 damage from that Rainbow Energy. Alright, and let's see. I think we're going to see a Big Wheel GX. Chris is going to shuffle his hand stack and get 10 new cards with this Big Wheel GX. And what he's hoping for is probably a DCE, definitely a DCE. A Guzma would be really nice. You can Guzma up the Tapu Lele, taking a knockout on it, because you got to think there is 100% going to be a Gardevoir coming online, so you need to try to take as many quick knockouts as you can. I think taking out the Lele next turn is not a bad idea. Maybe swing it to the Gardevoir is not a bad idea if he does find a DCE and a Drampa. But let's see what Jose does do here. I think I see a Field Blower in his hand, and in this case, he can get rid of the Po-Town and the Flowstone, which is really nice. So we see a Rare Candy, Gardevoir, taking that 30 damage from Po-Town. does he have a Field Blower? I don't think he actually does. Okay, so I see actually a Gallade coming online, which is not a bad thing either. When he commits a DC to it, he'll be able to take a knockout for Sensitive Blade doing 260 if he can find a supporter card. Right now, he doesn't have any. I think he has an in hand. So you can put a DC on this bench Gallade. And then if he finds the Floatstone, he can retreat, take a knockout. But he's got to find that Floatstone. But does he have one or not? He can't use Premonition because that Garbatox and Garbodor is online right now. And let's see what is going to happen. We see a Sylveon going to the bench Gardevoir. We see a DC going to the Gardevoir. And we might just see a Magical Ribbon. No, going to end first. Which now takes, oh man, that's pretty bad. Now takes Chris's 10 cards and now puts it down to 4. You know, he just big-willed. You know, he uses GX attack, and, you know, Jose said, no, you're good. I'm going to get rid of your GX attack, make it where you only get 4 cards instead of the 10. So he's going to cut his hand size down to 5. Oh, man. It's not good when you use your GX attack and your opponent's like, no, never mind, just kidding. You don't get to use your GX attack. I'm going to say no. And that's one of the downsides of using that Big Will GX. Yeah, it's really nice if you can use it and not get in. But in this case, it did not happen for Chris. So both players are going to get some new cards here. Jose is going to get 6. Chris is going to get 4. We do see that Jose has like double Fear Energy, but he can't really do anything with it. He definitely is just going to Magic Ribbon and try to find some new cards. Now, if you're Jose here, one thing you can look for is maybe like a Guzma. And you could actually bring up that bench Garbodor, take a knockout, and get rid of that Garbotoxin for a couple of turns, which is not a bad idea at all. I think it's a fun play to do. You can also just like put an energy on the active and hope that Chris commits a DCE. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Yeah, if Chris commits any energy on the active, he can maybe like Floatstone retreat to Sylveon if he wants to go that way. Maybe Ace Roll it. No, he actually can't Ace Roll it right now because there's no damage counters on it. So we see Chris. Looks like he's grabbing, or Jose's grabbing like a Field Blower, a Routes, and something else. Is the 3 cards I think I see. He already has Guzma in hand, so he can go for that Guzma play on the Garbodor, get rid of that Garbotoxin if he wants to. He has so many options to do here because that Magic Ribbon. This is what makes this new Gardevoir kind of really good. Just be able to use that Sylveon. Just grab any 3 cards you want. Looks like he is eyeballing a DCE. And some other, I don't even know what he grabbed. He kept like deciding like a billion cards, so I'm not sure what he just grabbed there. But on to Chris's turn, does Chris have a DCE? A DC Guzma would be like fantastic. He can do 180, hit that Gardevoir, bring it up to 210, and then all he needs a Flying Flip. So you see the Guzma, bring it up to Gardevoir. It looks like he's going to send it to that Coco. It does have that free treat, so it's really not going to matter too much. Gonna retreat to the Drampa, and what we're going to see here is a Righteous Edge for 50, getting rid of the Choice Band off the active, which is actually a really, really nice play. It makes it a little harder for Jose to take a knockout, because he is discarding that DCE. And yeah, we're going to see that Gardevoir being brought up to 80 damage. Alright, so imagine we're going to see a 5 come down, make an 80 altogether, and on to Jose's turn, let's see what happens. He does have a Skyla, he's got a Field Blower, so he can Field Blower that bench tool off the Garbodor. Okay. Right now, the Gardevoir is not really doing too much damage, though. It needs a couple of cards. It needs 5 energies altogether, so a DC and double energy, which is impossible this turn, so there's really no way Gardevoir can take a knockout, unfortunately. Unless Jose could somehow like Ace Roll the Gardevoir. We see a Field Blower, gonna get rid of the the Floatstone and maybe the Potown. If you're taking a knockout this turn, definitely you discard the Potown if you're taking a knockout this turn. If you're not taking a knockout this turn, you discard the Choice Band, I think. Yeah, so discard the Potown. Unless he does, he have like an Ace Rolla, maybe pick up the damaged Gardevoir, put a decent in the Glade, take a knockout. He can't commit a Floatstone to the activator. He has a Choice Band on it. So let's see what he decides to do here. He's kind of in a pickle. Yeah, because he can't take a knockout on this Drampa this turn. He can only do 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. He can do 150 damage. You know, Chris using that Righteous Edge attack probably messed up a lot of math on Jose's side of the field. So let's see what Jose does here. Going to put a Fairy Juice to the active. I don't know if that's Seeker Spring or Attachment. I don't know. We'll see. He's got a DCE. He's got a Fairy. What he could do is put a DC on that Glade, maybe, and like Guzma up the Garbodor, take a knockout on it. That's not a bad idea. Just get rid of that Garbodor toxin, make it where Chris can't get abilities back on the board. I would not disagree with that play at all if he goes for that. Will he go for the Guzma play? Yes, so go to Guzma. Bring up the Tapu Koko, actually, okay. That's very interesting to bring up the Tapu Koko. Now, what he could do is put a DC on the Sylveon, and maybe Fairy Wind for the knockout, doing 110 damage. And yeah, that's what we're going to see here. He's going to knock out the Koko, okay. And going down to 5 prize cards? I think it's his first prize card of the game. Yeah, I think it's his first knockout of the game. Yeah, so on to Chris' turn. Let's see what Chris has here. If he's got a Floodstone Guzma DC, he's going to be looking really nice because he can knock out the Gardevoir. We see a Floodstone going back to Garbodor Toxin Garbodor. Going to turn off abilities one more time. Let's see. We see a Potown come back down. So basically that field bar was just for nothing. Everything just came back onto Chris' side or Jose's side of the field. But if Chris has his Espeon EX, I don't know what's in his deck, but if he has his Espeon EX, he's actually looking really nice right now. Just because he can like de-evolve a bunch of Pokemon and take knockouts that way. No, the Glade was mainly evolved, so that's not going to work. It has 80 HP, so it's not going to work. Alright, so let's see what Jose does do here. He does have another Guzma in hand. If he has another DC, I think he committed his DC last turn, so he doesn't have a DC in hand anymore. Maybe, I don't even know. Like, Chris is such a weird, like, Jose's such in a weird spot now. He can maybe go for like a Magic Ribbon, try to set up more. Maybe in Chris down a lower hand size. This has definitely been one of the interesting games to see here. But let's see what he does with this Fairy Energy. He does have Skyla in hand, so he can maybe Skyla for something. If he wants to go that way, he's got it in. He's got an Ultra Ball. Maybe get out of Curlia. Go look at his discard pile. See what he decides wants to do here. Looks like he's going, okay. He's got the Ultra Ball. He's got a Guzma. Yeah, I see a Guzma. I see an Ultra Ball. He can maybe Guzma up the Garbodor. Put a Fairy Energy on, or Guzma bring his Garbodor up, send his Gardevoir up, and take a knockout with Infinite Force. No, it actually doesn't take a knockout. He'll be short by 10 HP, so that's not good. So we see an Ultra Ball, discarding Ultra Ball, and an in. And I guess Jose really doesn't have to worry about like too many item cards because Chris has too many Lele's bench, so he really doesn't have room for another Trubbish. I mean, I guess he does now since Tapu Koko has been taken out. But Chris will have to find a Trubbish, which he really hasn't played these supporter cards in a long time. I don't know what it's in his hand. I can't see it. But I wonder what this Ultra Ball is going to get him. Maybe another Curlia. If he has a second one. I do see another Curlia in his deck. So he can maybe go for a Curlia if he wants to go that way. Maybe another Routes. Man, this has been a very interesting game to watch so far. So let's see what Jose decides to do. It looks like he's going to grab the Curlia. Okay. Yeah, going to grab a Curlia. So yeah, see, he can evolve the rest of the Curly this turn to Magic Ribbon, maybe grabbing another Field Blower and some more stuff. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know what to really say. I just don't know what to say right now. All right, so we'll see. Let's see. He's got the Curlia. He can. So one thing he can do here, instead of play for the Glade knockout, he can put an energy on the Glade, then Magical Ribbon. Or no, he can put energy on the Gardevoir. Magical Ribbon, fighting an Acerola, a DC. He's gonna put a Fairy Energy on the Gardevoir, or Glade. So he's gonna go the energy, or the that way instead. But what he can do is find an Acerola and take a knockout with Sensitive Blade on the Drampa. It's not a bad thing to do. And let's see what he decides. Looks like he's got a Sycamore in hand. Looks like he's contemplating Sycamore. Oh man. Let's see. This turn is taking a good second. This is taking a good second to decide what to do here. He's got a Sycamore, Guzma in, and a Curly. So Curly will come down, take that 3 damage. There is a time limit though. It's best of 130 minutes, and it's been like 20 minutes. So we see a Sycamore going to discard his hand, drawing 7 new cards. He hasn't used supporter cards just yet. You might think he has, but he hasn't really. Okay, all right. So we see 7 new cards coming out. He's got a Gardevoir. He's already attached, so he can't attach again. There's no energy attached anyway. There's a rare candy Gardevoir. He's got a choice band, but I imagine what we're going to see here is an Acerola, or a Magic Ribbon, grabbing an Acerola and taking a knock on this Drampa. I think that is the correct play to do here. So we'll see a Magic Ribbon grabbing 3 cards. You see Chris immediately drawing, saying, alright, we need to go. We see it looks like you grab 2 Fairies and a DCE. I don't know how I feel about that. I definitely need an Acerola. I think there's one in his deck. Yeah, there's an Acerola in his deck. I think you definitely grab the Acerola because you cannot retreat the Sylveon. Yeah, he doesn't grab the Acerola. He just grabs like a Fairy, DCE, and I think a Routes is what I think I saw correctly. So, we'll see Chris' turn. So, if Chris can find a way to knock out anybody, it'll be looking good. Go down to 2 price cards. I mean, he has some stuff he can knock out. But actually, we see Chris just going for another Righteous Edge here. It looks like Chris just doesn't have anything. It is basically Jose's game to lose right now. Jose does have a DC in hand. He's got another Gardevoir he can evolve to, a second Gardevoir. But he has no way to retreat this Sylveon. He'll have to commit like a DC to it, and then it just gets Righteous Edge off. So I think the best play to do right now is to go for Magic Ribbon, find you an Acerola. Oh, he actually has Ace. Okay, so he did grab the Acerola. Right, so he's going to Acerola, pick up the Gardevoir, send in his Glade, and going to Sense of Blade for the knockout. I think going down to 3 price cards. Okay. Alright, so yeah, going to Sense of Blade for the knockout, going down to 3 price cards. And I see Chris has got the Garbodor, but he does not have any more attackers. So now it is not looking good for Chris at all. Chris has 2 Tapu Leles. He can maybe commit a DC to it, but it will not take a knockout on that Glade. 20, 40, 60, 80, 8, 9, 10. It only do 140, which is not enough for the knockout. That Glade does have 150 HP. We see Chris looking at that Gardevoir. You gotta think Chris plays Espeon. He keeps looking up his Pokemon to see what he has here. Here we see a Guzma. Gonna bring up that Gardevoir, and we're just gonna see it pass. So maybe he was just looking at it thinking, you know what can I do here? But, okay, so Chris, alright, so Jose, he finally has a turn. He can Guzma, bring up the Garbodor, put a DC on the Gardevoir and take a knockout. That is the 100% correct play here. You gotta knock out this Garbodor. If you knock out Garbodor, you win the following turn. 100%. Alright, so does he go for the Guzma play on the Garbodor? He can even promote his Glade up. He can just like Guzma the Garbodor, send the Glade, put a DC on the bench Gardevoir, and sends the Blade for the knockout on the Garbodor, setting up a knockout on his Tapu Leles. So we see a Routes hit the field. Imagine we are going to see a Guzma this turn to bring in that Garbodor, taking a knockout either with the Sensitive Blade or even the Gardevoir, because I know he has a DC. I think he has a DC in hand. Yeah, he does have a DC and a Guzma. So you definitely Guzma up the Garbodor. You take a knock on it, so they receive the Guzma on the Garbodor. You attach energy to the bench Gardevoir, and you basically say, you know what, next turn I have game. Never mind, he's not going to attach and just going to take a knockout instead, alright? So on a Chris turn, going to draw a card, but if Chris still doesn't have anything, he's in trouble. We see a Trubbish finally coming down, and most likely we'll see a pass from Chris' side of the field. And let's see here, Jose's got a billion energies in his hand, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. He has DCE, so that's the attachment. He has double Fairy in hand, I think. Well, he has 1. So Seeking Spring, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. He needs 1 more energy. If he has a Sycamore, he can Sycamore his hand away. He should definitely Ultra Ball to see what's left in his deck first, to see if it's worth playing the Sycamore. Will he do that or not? Will he just YOLO and go? Maybe he already knows what's left in his deck. I definitely think he Ultra Ball, just like triple checking everything. There we see the Ultra Ball. Does he have a Fairy Energy in the deck? And there is 2 Fairy Energies in there. So what Jose can do is Sycamore, and I think he's saying, I mean, I guess he's saying, you know, he's like, I'm about to play Sycamore. It doesn't really matter if I shuffle or not. So yeah, we're going to see Sycamore. It doesn't really matter. Jose's going to draw the rest of his deck, but he's got another energy he can attach to that Gardevoir. We're going to see a retreat to the Gardevoir, and we'll see a Seeker Spring attachment, and that will be the knockout, and Jose will take the game. And that was a very interesting game for sure. I think one thing that Chris could have played a little bit differently was maybe had more attackers in the field. But, I mean, near the end of the game, he just didn't find any supporter card. We see Drampa, Trubbish, Potown, something, and a Bridget. I mean, he didn't have a supporter card for, like, the next, 10 turns. Wow. That's insane. But guys, there we go. There's Gardevoir versus the Drampa Garbodor deck. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. It was very interesting, especially with the Po-Town stuff. And I wonder if Chris was actually playing Espeon EX or not. That's my big question of the day. Because if he plays Espeon EX, that's definitely one way that he can easily win this matchup. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. This is day number 2 of the League Cup. There is 5 rounds, top 8, top 4 in the finals. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. It'll be a fantastic Tuesday. Alrighty, bye. Alright guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to our 3 sponsors, 60 Cards, Yeti Gaming, and the Pokemon Company International. Links to everything will be down below in the description. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Alrighty.